It's a business that's 90 years old. Frankly, the immediate reaction, and I think this is perhaps the pitfall. Firstly, I have an issue with this clubbing of customers and calling a whole span of customers born from 1980 to 2000 as one group of customers, and then trying to define in a day and age which is extremely volatile, trying to define a whole bunch of people.
There are actually two definitions. There's a millennial and there's a Generation Z now.
There is a Generation Z also
Generation
now.
Z is after 2009.
Yeah, and I think so. Just to before I answer your question, just to put a disclaimer on the board, I guess, and also to stir things up a little, because panels like these otherwise end up being too polite and therefore boring. I think the attempt to take a whole group of customers and club them into one monolithic characteristic of this is how they think and this is how they behave is perhaps the biggest pitfall and the biggest fallacy at today's day and age, when people are living in micro moments and they are living and existing in micro segments. So putting that aside, coming back to Raymond, I think when you start looking at and you start obsessing about customers and start obsessing about youth, one of the immediate pitfalls is that the automatic assumption is that anything which has history and heritage and therefore a lot of number of years behind it is a disadvantage. It is actually a tremendous advantage. I think depth, heritage, history, experience is underrated, unfortunately, today. And we at Raymond believe, and I am new to Raymond. You started your career with Raymond, I did not. I'm in Raymond for the last 2 years. So in that sense, given the average engagement of the average Raymondite, I am a newcomer. Coming from the outside, I can tell you that there is a wealth of experience and information and technology and capability that exists and resides in this organization, which is more than ready to be leveraged for this new customer. The few things that we started to do, we have, of course, as a brand, we have something called the complete man. As a brand, Raymond is iconic. It's way up there. Any independent research that's conducted anywhere as far as brands are concerned, and Raymond is number one, everything else is number two. And Complete Man started almost about 40 years ago, and it's still green. It's still there in the consciousness of whatever your label might be as a customer, it's in your mind. But we are contemporizing it. The kind of advertising that we started to do, the kind of work that we started to do with our communication.
How are you using digital? And are you really focused on digital, or are you saying that the next generation of customer can also come through whatever strategies that you've had in the past?
So one thing about today's customer, I think one undeniable truth is the influence of technology. And this is the digital age, and I think today's customer, whatever your age might be or whatever your category might be, you have a tremendous influence of the digital world around you. People are living seamlessly in the physical and the digital world. You don't bifurcate your time, you just move seamlessly from the digital to physical world. And therefore the fact is that any marketer, whether old, new, or just on the block, has to recognize the fact and has to have the capability to be able to cater to consumers in that medium, in these seamless mediums. For us, we believe digital is a tremendous opportunity. We have, if I may say it on this platform, we set up a dedicated cell it's a pretty large team which does nothing inside Raymond but concentrate on preparing Raymond for the digital future. The mandate that's been given to this team with a very senior level resource at the head is to not look at incremental improvements inside of Raymond, but to look at breakthrough improvements. And we are, we have a made-to-measure business, as you know, and there is some really top-notch work that is about to be unveiled in that space, where we will be in a position to do, offline measurements. Electronically, we'll be able to scan you. The scan automatically becomes a pattern. And so technology, not only just from the point of view of communication, but also from the point of view of going into the core of the business, is something that we're exploring very actively and very aggressively. But we believe it is something that needs to be done by every single organization.